Okay, let's see what we got going here.
A school budget that started out more than $400 million in the hole has whittled down to about $150 million.
This is the U1A complex, a massive series of tunnels nearly 1,000 feet below the desert surface.
Well, this is our living room. I sleep here, my son will sleep there, and then my daughter sleeps there. And then this is our dining room, aka kitchen.
So how many people total are living here?
5. Yeah.
Their concessions will save the city $36 million over the next 2 fiscal years.
You may have noticed there's a tiny little dolphin swimming around next to one of the really large dolphins. Well, that's the newest member here to the dolphin family.
This is just the latest step in the decommissioning of the facility, once the largest coal-fired power plant in Nevada.
The term precious cargo doesn't quite do this justice. Inside this 800-pound plaster wrap package, an old Nevada treasure unearthed. But when we say old, we don't mean months or years or even decades. To understand the significance of this oddly shaped find, we go way back 16,000 years. Paleontologist Eric Scott's job is to retrace the past.
The fossil-bearing dirt, called the Las Vegas Formation, covers a span of time from as much or more as 200,000 years ago all the way through to the end of the Ice Ages, around 11,000 years ago.
At the time, long before gaming became king, a different type of giant ruled this valley.
Mammoths, horses, camels, bison, lots of mammoths actually.
The name Las Vegas means the meadows. The valley's water is what attracted all kinds of life. The last animals survived until about 10,000 years ago. Their bones preserved deep in the ground until years of erosion revealed fossils. And in this wash about 30 minutes north of the Strip,
in 2003 and 2004, the Bureau of Land Management in Nevada asked us to come out and survey the area for paleontologic resources, the entire upper Las Vegas wash. And during that period of time, we discovered 438 separate, discrete fossil localities.
Hundreds of fossils right in our own backyard.
And then suddenly you see something and you go, wow, this is really great, I found something.
And once in a rare while, paleontologists will, in their book, strike gold.
What we're looking at here is part exposed of a mammoth tusk. And here is the tip of the tusk. It's going back here under the dirt, and then it's curving up. And that's the end that would have been in the animal's skull.
Scott believes this tusk belonged to an adult mammoth that lived at the end of the Ice Age.
Those animals can get anywhere from 12 to 14 feet tall at the shoulders, so they're very, very large animals.
And nature has preserved the tusk fully intact for all these years.
We've gotten a lot of tusks, but most of them are much more partial tusks. Not quite as big, as long.
Now, man takes over where nature left off.
So this is definitely the nicest so far, and may end up being the nicest of the whole project.
To preserve the tusk, it has to come out of the ground.
Being exposed to the elements, eventually it's going to degrade.
You're going to just go like this, you roll it around your fingers. The reason I'm putting the paper on there, just plain old toilet paper, is to keep the plaster from sticking to the fossil, because this is all going to get covered with plaster and burlap.
Think of this as building a giant carrying case, layer after layer, and after a night of drying off,
that forms a hard protective cap.
Ready? Yeah, baby. Perfect.
This tusk hasn't moved since the end of the Ice Age.
We're in.
Now it's on its way to a brand new home.
We follow the mammoth tusk here to San Bernardino County, California, where there are hundreds of other buried treasures from Nevada. We'll show you some of those fossils and tell you what they're doing here in part 2 of our special report. Hetty Chang, News 3.
We're going through something. We all know we've all been through something.
But dealing with this pain and stress of poverty.
Let's make sure you sing it and mean it.
From the streets of Las Vegas to this church hall.
Don't give up, don't give up.
All from different walks of life, some with rough backgrounds, like 19-year-old Donna Hill.
It was quick money, honestly.
Who worked as a prostitute.
The life was too dangerous, and a lot of girls were getting hurt and getting killed at the time, so I just said, it's not for me.
Hill moved into a shelter,
internalizing the words to this song,
which led her to Tori Russell.
It's not a happy song. It's a pleading song. Someone reach out to me.
Who's been involved with more than 250 plays across the country. He founded Broadway in the Hood to introduce kids from the Las Vegas streets to the stage.
At times we have 50 to 70 kids in here running and screaming and acting crazy and dancing around, and some are doing splits and cartwheels, and these are the same kids who could be robbing your house. These are the same kids who could be doing all kinds of things.
They held their first performance in February, called Hiram and Nettie, about two slaves on a plantation who fall in love. 3,000 people saw the show.
We take the time to take the Hood and introduce it to Broadway, and take Broadway and introduce it to the Hood. It's a marriage that's destined to last.
Our kids are suffering.
Toni Ellis thinks so. Her daughter is in the group.
We need alternatives for our youth. We need to embrace them in such a way that tells them they can't accomplish anything.
Like going to the Kodak Theater in Hollywood, where they're performing at an NAACP festival this month. I'm breaking through these walls, I'm gonna give my all, yeah. 21-year-old Johanna McSonic will be going, even though her family hasn't been receptive to her joining the group.
When I came here and then I started college, I wanted to take music, but my parents are not allowing me to do that because they're like, where is that going to get you?
But now she and the others are preparing for the trip of a lifetime.
It's more than just an acting, it's family. This is like, I found my second family here. Thank you for just accepting me. Sorry. I just love them, and thank you.
It's always like a game of Frogger whenever I do this.
The tickets come one after another, motorists ignoring pedestrians in a marked crosswalk, a problem local police officers have been struggling with for years. So today, a new approach.
That was a shock to me.
Use a guy in a turkey suit to get their attention.
A little funny, a little humiliated.
This is Metro Officer Michael Lemley testing traffic at Charleston and 11th. He's hard to miss.
Suburban actually changed lanes to go around me.
But somehow, plenty of people do.
Definitely the silver Mercedes. We're out here just to try to get the driving public's recognition of pedestrians in the roadway. And what fun way to do it than walking across the street in a turkey costume Tuesday before Thanksgiving.
But while the tactic grabs attention, the message is deadly serious. Just this past summer, a 70-year-old man in a wheelchair was hit and killed while using this very crosswalk. Aaron Breen with UNLV's Safe Community Partnership says the goal is to change driving habits.
The point today is not for 100 tickets to be written in a 2-hour time frame, although it's probably close to what it will be. The point is for 100,000 people to see it on the news. And ask yourself when you're driving down the street, could that have been me?
And these tickets aren't cheap. Here in this part of town, we're under the jurisdiction of Muni Court, where the fine is $305 plus traffic school or 4 points on your license. A very expensive lesson experts hope will stick.
I've actually been straddling the white line as cars are going on both sides of me.
And Lemley says this enforcement is timed just as holiday crowds are picking up near local shopping malls. More people out on foot, more opportunities for an accident. And Darren Mira, for one, appreciates the traffic turkey.
They say you never know what's going to happen to you when you walk out.
As for Lemley,
it's hard to take me serious in this, isn't it?
He doesn't mind the butterball Jenny O where's the fixin's comments, as long as drivers stop.
It's just quite an adrenaline rush.
And remember, you'll never know who'll be crossing next.
Watch for Santa Claus coming in Christmas.
Denise Roche, News 3.